Before a pesticide is even registered for use by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, it goes through an extensive process that can last anywhere from 6 to 9 years. Pesticides that pass the EPA risk assessment process get a unique EPA registration number that appears on the label. Earlier in the course, I mentioned that before a pesticide can be used in California, it must also be evaluated and registered by the California Department of Pesticide Regulation, DPR. You can verify that your product is registered in California by checking the DPR database. The label on a registered product must be followed. It is the law. One of the most important parts of the pesticide label is the directions for use section. You are in violation of the law if you don't follow these directions. The only exceptions are cases where federal or state laws specify acceptable deviations from label directions. The directions for use respond to the basic questions: what, where, how, and when. That means what is the active ingredient of the pesticide and which pests does it control? Where can the pesticide be used? When can the pesticide be applied? And how should the pesticide be applied and how much of it should be used? In this section of the course, we're going to focus on making sure that you use the correct product based on your crop and your pest. Applying a product on a crop that is not registered for use will lead to illegal residues, crop destruction, and a loss of revenue. Here is a label for Admire Pro. It is a soil-applied systemic insecticide used to protect various crops against many insect pests. If you look for information for this product or any product online, you can get lots of details. For example, here's a list of crops for which this particular product is registered. However, you have to be careful. This list is based on the EPA-approved federal label. You must look at your label to make sure there are no restrictions for your state. Most other states don't register pesticides. California is one of the few states that actually have more strict pesticide regulations than what is required by EPA. Let's say you are growing squash for seed and you would like to control whiteflies. Go through the label until you find the crop you are looking for. Cucurbits are listed twice, once for soil plantings and once for in a plant house. Yes, squash is listed on the label and so are whiteflies, so you can proceed, right? But take a closer look at the more specific use directions below the table. For soil plantings or in plant houses, this product can't be used if you are growing your crop for seed. Note a further restriction for plant houses. The use is not permitted in California. All of the restrictions say use not permitted in California unless otherwise directed by state-specific 24C labeling. But what does this mean? Section 24C refers to the Special Local Need, SLN, registrations. The Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act, FIFRA, allows state pesticide regulators to include a new use to an existing registered product in order to address a serious, specific pest situation. The problem must be a local problem that can't be resolved with the use of another registered product. A tolerance or exemption from a tolerance must already be established. The product must contain an already registered active ingredient, and registration for the same use must not have been previously denied. Back to our example. There is no existing 24C label for using Admire Pro in California for whiteflies on cucurbits grown for seed. You can check 24C registrations on the DPR website. Even if you've used a given pesticide in the past, make sure you have an up-to-date label, as EPA may occasionally change labels. There are some online databases where you can check for current labels. They include commercial databases, the EPA Pesticide Product Information System, PPIS, or from the manufacturer's websites. As you can see, the Directions for Use section is quite complex. Before even purchasing the pesticide, you should make sure that the pesticide you are planning to use can be applied on the crop you're intending to use it on the pest you want to control. Let's take a quick look at a scenario. Let's say your neighbor Paul had a really heavy San Jose scale infestation on his walnut trees last year and used Admire Pro as a foliar application to keep them under control. This year you have a heavy San Jose scale infestation on your almond trees, and Paul suggests that you use the same product because it worked well for him. Now, take a few minutes to review the label of the product and answer these questions. Was Paul using the product correctly? Can you use the same product for your situation? What did you find out? The first step was to check to see if Paul used the pesticide correctly. Looking at the label in the Directions for Use section, you can see that foliar applications of this product are allowed for San Jose scale on walnuts. However, as per the label, this product is not registered for almonds. Using this product on almonds would be a violation of the label and the law and could result in an illegal residue. Remember, before using any pesticide, make sure to verify that it is registered for your crop in your state. The only way to avoid illegal residues is to follow the label and state regulations and only apply products on crops for which they are registered.